chosen ones, you are here for a reason. This moment is no accident. You found this message because something deep within you is awakening. You are destined for greatness, connected to a higher purpose. What you're about to hear will change everything. Embrace this transformation. Trust that this journey is yours alone. The truth will unfold, revealing the power within you. Stay with me, for the path ahead holds profound insights. You are ready for this. Are you? Keep listening. Have you ever felt the weight of knowing something so powerful, so undeniable, that it could unravel everything around you? Imagine carrying a truth that, if fully realized, could shatter illusions and awaken minds to the reality they've been blind to for years. You held this knowledge quietly, walking alone, watching as others stumbled in their darkness, believing you were lost. They laughed at you. They mocked your insights, dismissing you and your vision as something unreal, something that could never come to pass. Did that make you question yourself, even for a moment? Were there times when you wondered if you had been wrong, or if you had been too quick to see what others couldn't? But deep down, in the quietest corners of your soul, you knew that the truth would rise one day. It would rise no matter how fiercely they tried to deny it. And now that time has arrived. Can you see it? Can you feel it? Look into their eyes, the widened pupils, the nervous gestures, the hesitation in their voices. The realization is sinking in. They know in the deepest part of their being that they were wrong. They are grappling with a truth they can no longer avoid. And all the while, you've been standing there knowing this moment would come. So may did the same ones who dismissed you, the ones who laughed at you and belittled your insight, now stand face to face with the undeniable reality of what you knew all along. How does it feel to witness their scramble, to see them trying to put together the pieces of their shattered illusions? Their arrogance has turned to confusion, their certainty into regret. Do you think they will ever admit they were wrong, or will their pride keep them tethered to the very lies they defended so fiercely? Will they ever have the courage to admit the truth they resisted for so long? But before we dive deeper, I want to take a moment to express gratitude to all of you, those who have stood firm in your truth, who have supported this journey. Your support, especially through Super Thanks, means the world to the Wisdom Ones channel. Thank you for your generosity. A special shout out to everyone who has already contributed. It's because of your kindness that this message can reach those who need it the most. If you're ready to step fully into the power of your truth, if you're prepared to embrace the victory you've long awaited, comment weakness below. Let's acknowledge this moment together as we see the tables turning. What will you do with the power of being right? What will you do now that the truth is undeniable and those who once ridiculed you now know they were wrong? Will you rise, using their realization as a stepping stone into your destiny, stepping into a higher level of purpose and calling? Or will you stay silent, letting them wrestle with the weight of their own awakening? This is only the beginning of a story about how the tables turned and why this moment was destined from the start. Stay with us, chosen one. The journey has just begun. To see beyond the veil is a gift, an extraordinary gift, but one that carries with it a great responsibility. The ability to discern the unseen, to know the truth when others cannot, often leads to a path of solitude. As you walk this path, shadows seem to stretch endlessly around you. It's a journey that many cannot comprehend, especially when they remain entranced by the comforting illusions of the world. You may have felt the sting of isolation as the world around you clung to falsehoods, unwilling to accept the reality you could see so clearly. This experience is not new. It's one that has been shared by many throughout history. Think of Noah, who was mocked and ostracized for building an ark. He obeyed the command of God, despite the fact that there was no rain in sight. And the people around him continued to live in indulgence, scoffing at the very notion of a coming flood. Yet when the waters rose and the flood came, it was Noah who stood vindicated. He and his family were saved, and the future of humanity was secured. His vision, his steadfast faith, stood as a testament to the power of knowing what others could not. Have you ever felt like Noah? Have you ever felt the weight of knowledge pressing on you while others dismissed your insight as foolishness? The truth you carry often isolates you, not because you're mistaken, but because your clarity threatens the false security others find in their illusions. The world prefers to hold on to comforting lies. It shields itself from the uncomfortable light of reality, unwilling to face the truth that could shatter everything they know. Jesus himself faced this resistance when he spoke truths that challenged the beliefs of the religious leaders of his time. In John 8:32, he said, "Then you will know the truth, and the truth will set you free." But freedom truth brings requires surrender. It demands that we let go of the lies we've held on to for so long, and many people resist that surrender, not because they don't understand the truth, but because they fear what it will cost them. They fear the unknown, the uncomfortable change that truth demands. Imagine holding on to a broken mirror, the shards cutting into your hands, yet unwilling to let go. The pain of holding on feels more bearable than the thought of facing the reality of what letting go would mean. This is the struggle that binds so many to their illusions. Your journey as a truth-bearer may feel lonely at times, but take solace in the examples of those who have gone before you. Consider Joseph, who was betrayed and imprisoned, yet rose to a position of power to save his people. His trial served a greater purpose. What if your ability to see beyond the veil is not just a burden, but a divine calling? Could it be that your isolation is preparing you for something greater than you can currently understand? The clarity of your vision, the sharpness of your perception makes others uncomfortable. It challenges their limited perspectives, forcing them to confront the truth they would rather avoid. When you speak, your words seem alien to them, not because they lack truth, but because they demand that they reckon with their own illusions. This mirrors the story of Noah, who built an ark when there was no rain. He was ridiculed because his vision pierced through the veil of comfort and denial. How many today dismiss the truth-tellers, clinging to their comfortable illusions, all the while ignoring the storm that is brewing unseen? Your existence, your very presence, becomes a contradiction to their false sense of security. They see you, yet they cannot understand you. You are like a living testimony to their unwillingness to face the truth. Just as Jesus was misunderstood and rejected by those he came to save, you too are often misunderstood. Your clarity, your courage terrifies them. It forces them to confront their own insecurity, to question the very foundations of their beliefs. But the truth is not merely informational, it is transformational. And transformation requires discomfort, change, and surrender. These are things that many people are unwilling to face. They will call you paranoid, delusional, or idealistic, but the truth remains. It stands firm like a solid rock amidst the storm. As Christ said, the truth will set you free, John 8:32. But freedom often comes with pain, the pain of letting go of comforting lies. Reality does not wait for permission to unfold, and when it arrives, it comes with the force of a storm that cannot. When that storm comes, those who mocked you will feel the crushing weight of realization. The shame they will feel will not come from their ignorance, but from their refusal to see. They mocked you not because they truly believed you were wrong, but because admitting you were right would mean dismantling the very foundations of their world. How often do we cling to illusions simply because facing the truth feels unbearable? Yet deep down, a part of them always knew. They heard the ring of truth in your voice, but they buried it under layers of denial and comfort. Now, as reality crashes down upon them, they scramble to rewrite history. They'll say, "I always had a feeling," or "I knew deep down." But you will see the hollowness of these claims. The hardest part of seeing beyond the veil is not enduring rejection or mockery. It is realizing that you never needed their approval. You were not waiting for them to understand. You were waiting for them to wake up. And now, as the truth they resisted becomes undeniable, they must confront the fear they've been avoiding for so long. You were right. His story is one of missed opportunities, of hasty decisions, made without seeing the full scope of what was at stake. It's easy to look at his actions with judgment, but how often do we find ourselves acting impulsively, seeking short-term gains without considering the long-term consequences? The weight of wisdom is not in being right, but in understanding that the right choices are often those that require patience, discipline, and the willingness to wait for the right moment. In many ways, the burden of clarity is a test of endurance, faith, and commitment to something greater than immediate gratification. As you navigate your own journey, you may find yourself questioning why others do not see what you see, why they are unwilling to change, why they reject the truth that could save them. The answer lies not in their blindness, but in their fear. Fear of change, fear of confronting the uncomfortable truths about themselves, their lives, and the world around them. It is easier to remain in denial than to face the discomfort of transformation. And so they push you away, dismiss your words, and cling to their illusions. But this is not a reflection of your worth or the value of your insights. It is a reflection of their unwillingness to evolve. Matters as you continue on your path. Remember this. The wisdom you carry is not meant to be wielded as a weapon or used to prove your superiority. It is not about proving them wrong or elevating yourself above others. The truth you possess is not for your own validation, but for the benefit of those who are ready to hear it, those who will eventually come seeking guidance when their illusions have crumbled. And when they come, as they inevitably will, remember that your role is not to gloat or seek revenge. Your role is to offer grace, understanding, and support, because the truth you carry is not about vindication. It is about transformation. When they come to you humble and searching, understand that their journey has led them to this moment, not because they were wrong, but because their path has led them to the realization of their own limitations. You were never meant to be their adversary. You were meant to be the one who helps them find their way back to the truth. And when they finally ask for your guidance, your heart should not rejoice in their downfall, but in the opportunity to help them rise again. This is the true power of wisdom. Not in being right, but in being a source of healing, growth, and understanding for others. In moments of doubt, when you feel the weight of your burden growing heavier, remember that you are not alone. The journey of clarity and foresight is one that has been walked by many before you, from the prophets of old to the great thinkers and visionaries throughout history. Those who have seen beyond the surface and understood the deeper truths of the world have often been misunderstood and rejected, but their insight, like yours, has always held the power to change the world. And just as their voices eventually found an audience, so too will yours. But do not seek validation from the world, for the world will always be slow to recognize the value of truth. Instead, seek validation from within, from the knowledge that you are walking the path that is true to who you are. In the quiet moments, when you feel isolated and misunderstood, remember that you are not alone. Your clarity is not a curse. It is a gift, even if it comes with its own set of challenges. You are called to something greater than the fleeting satisfaction of being understood by everyone. You are called to hold your ground, to continue walking in the light of truth, even when the world around you is content to live in darkness. And as you continue to walk this path, remember that your strength is not in the applause of others, but in the quiet confidence that comes from knowing that you are living in alignment with your purpose. Your truth will find its way, even if it takes time. And when it does, it will not be because of your efforts to force others to see it, but because you remain steadfast, patient, and committed to the path laid before you. So, as you continue on this journey, I ask you to reflect on the words spoken today. Know that your struggles, your moments of rejection, and your feelings of isolation are all part of the greater journey of transformation. You are not meant to be understood by everyone, nor are you meant to seek approval from those who are not yet ready to receive what you have to offer. The path of wisdom is a lonely one, but it is also a path that leads to true freedom, a freedom not found in the approval of others, but in the knowledge that you are living in accordance with the truth you carry. And so, as you move forward, I encourage you to hold on to that truth. Do not let the doubts of others sway you from your course. Do not let their mockery, their rejection, or their inability to see the world as you do deter you from your mission. Your wisdom is needed in this world, and though it may not always be recognized, it is a light that will continue to shine, even in the darkest of times. If you are ready to embrace this truth, if you are ready to stand firm in your clarity and continue to walk the path of wisdom, I invite you to share your thoughts in the comments. Type weakness to acknowledge the strength that comes from embracing vulnerability and the power that lies in remaining grounded in your truth. And if you feel moved to support the Wisdom One's channel, please consider leaving a super thanks. Your support means so much to us. Thank you for your generosity, and a special shout out to those who have already contributed. It is because of your kindness that this message can reach those who need it most. Remember, the journey of wisdom is not about being right, but about being steadfast in truth. It's about knowing that, even in the face of rejection, your path is leading you to something greater. Keep walking, and the world will eventually recognize the light that you carry with you. Their lives, a cacophony of noise and empty victories, now stand exposed for what they truly were: illusions built on fragile foundations. The truth which they could not escape has arrived, and it has shattered the facade they so desperately clung to. They are left with nothing but the hollow echoes of their past arrogance, while you, standing firm in the quiet strength of your purpose, continue to move forward unshaken and unperturbed. It's incredible, isn't it? The realization that true strength never needed to be loud, never needed to be seen or acknowledged. You knew from the start that your success wouldn't come from noise, but from focus, from dedication, from making the right choices, even when no one was watching. You didn't need the validation of others to affirm your worth. Your value was never up for debate, because you understood that your path was set long before you ever took the first step. As they try to piece together the wreckage of their lives, it's impossible for them not to feel the weight of their mistakes. It's a weight that you knew they would carry even before they ever started down that path. You saw the cracks forming, you saw the path they were headed down, and yet they refused to listen. Now they must come to terms with the fact that their pride and their arrogance led them to this moment of reckoning. Do you remember the moments when you tried to warn them? When you spoke out, only to be ignored or dismissed as overly cautious or too pessimistic? Perhaps they mocked you, telling you that you were overthinking, that you were too careful. They didn't see what you saw. They couldn't. Their pride wouldn't allow them to. To admit that you were right would mean acknowledging their own flaws, and that was something they weren't willing to do. You knew that humility was the key, but they thought arrogance was power. And now they are paying the price for it. Their lives, once filled with pride and bluster, now stand as a testament to the fragility of false confidence. They thought they were invincible, that they could keep playing the game without consequence. But they were wrong. The truth is undeniable now. They were never ahead, never in control. Their bravado, their noise, their desperate need for validation. It was all just a cover for their deep insecurities. They measured their worth by comparing themselves to you, believing that if they could just outshine you, they would win. But you never needed to compete. You knew your worth didn't depend on how loudly you could shout, how much you could impress others. You knew that your worth was built on something far stronger, something more lasting. And now, as the dust settles, they realize it. The truth stands before them, and it's too late to undo the damage they've caused. They have been outplayed, but not in the way they thought. They believed they were playing the same game, but they were caught in an illusion. They were never playing the long game like you were. They were too busy seeking short-term validation, too obsessed with appearances to understand the power of quiet strength and steady determination. Isn't it ironic how often the ones who seem so confident, so sure of themselves, are the ones with the greatest insecurities? They hide behind loud words and grand gestures, trying to convince the world that they have it all together. But in the end, it's the quiet ones, the ones who move with purpose and intention, who build something real and lasting. The ones who don't need the world's applause, but who know that true success comes not from noise, but from the steady accumulation of wisdom, patience, and foresight. You've already moved forward, leaving them behind to pick up the pieces of their shattered illusions. And as they stand there, grappling with the consequences of their choices, they must come to terms with the fact that they never truly understood the rules of the game. You were never playing for their approval, and that's what hurts them the most. They thought they were ahead, but they were always in the rearview mirror, scrambling to catch up. And now, as they reflect on their mistakes, they will come to understand the bitter truth. Their downfall was not because of you, but because of their own pride and refusal to see beyond their own limited perspective. They misjudged you, underestimated you, and now they must live with the consequences of their actions. The game is over, and the lessons learned are deep and undeniable. Your patience, your foresight, your quiet strength, all of it has carried you to a place of victory, a place where the noise and chaos no longer matter. You stand as a reminder to everyone around you that true power doesn't come from noise, doesn't come from impressing others, but from a deep inner strength that cannot be shaken. And so, as you move forward, remember this. The game was never about outshining others. It was about staying true to yourself, remaining steadfast in your purpose, and knowing that in the end, it's not the loudest voices that matter. It's the ones who quietly move forward, building something real that will stand the test of time. As you continue on this journey, know that you are not alone. The world may not always see your efforts, but they don't need to. Your victory is not dependent on their recognition. You have already won by staying true to your path, by refusing to play the game the way they thought you should. You have built a life, a foundation that cannot be shaken. And that, my friend, is the greatest victory of all. If this message resonates with you, please take a moment to comment weakness below and let us know your Don't forget to subscribe to Wisdom Ones for more content like this and share your support through Super Thanks. Your generosity means so much to us, and we want to send a special shout out to everyone who has already donated. Because of your kindness that this message can reach those who need it the most. Thank you for being part of this community and for walking this journey together. You are stronger than you know. Your clarity has always been a guiding light. Even when it felt like no one was looking, you knew the path you had to walk, and you knew that walking it would mean standing alone at times. But the truth was a fire inside you, and you couldn't ignore it, no matter how much you wanted to fit in. Your commitment to what you knew was right, even in the face of overwhelming pressure, has become the quiet strength that propels you forward. It wasn't that you were seeking validation or recognition. You didn't need the applause or the acknowledgement. You needed to be true to yourself, and that truth, no matter how uncomfortable or inconvenient, became your armor. The world may have looked at you with skepticism, judging your path from the outside. But deep down you knew they could never understand the battles you fought silently, the sacrifices you made, and the pain of standing firm when everyone else wavered. And while they questioned your choices, your strength only grew. In many ways, you were walking through a storm that seemed to rage against you at every turn. But storms are temporary, and the clarity that you held within yourself was something far more enduring. What others dismissed as stubbornness or foolishness was actually the wisdom of someone who refused to let the world define their truth. It wasn't about pride or ego. It was about survival, and not just surviving, but becoming stronger with every challenge. Your strength has been forged in the fire of adversity. And now, as time has passed, you can see the results of your quiet resilience. Now, as those who once mocked you or looked down upon you come to terms with their own mistakes, you stand unaffected, not in triumph, but in peace. You've already moved forward. You've already found your own sense of worth, one that isn't dependent on the validation of the apology they offer may feel like a hollow echo, an acknowledgement that comes too late. But you don't need it. You never did. The truth you carried, the wisdom you had, was always enough. Have you ever wondered why truth, even when it's spoken with the best of intentions, can make people uncomfortable? The discomfort isn't about the truth itself, but about what it forces them to confront within themselves. It challenges the stories they've built around themselves, the narratives they've told themselves to protect their egos and justify their actions. The truth doesn't allow them to stay in the comfort of their illusions, and that's terrifying. Your life, your journey, and your experiences have given you a clarity that others simply cannot understand, and that's okay. They're not meant to. They don't have the same path as you, the same lessons, or the same burden. They will never understand the weight of the truths you carry. And that's not your responsibility to explain to them. They will have to come to their own realizations when they are ready. What's more important than their understanding is the understanding you've gained of yourself. You've learned to walk your path with unwavering belief in what you know to be true. You've learned to trust yourself, your instincts, and your inner voice. The world may try to tear you down, but the strength you have built through the challenges has become an unshakable foundation that nothing can move. As they come to terms with their own mistakes, with their own fears and regrets, you remain a quiet, steady presence. You don't gloat. You don't rub their faces in their errors. Instead, you continue on your path with the same clarity and strength that you've always had. You've learned that the best way to handle those who have misunderstood you is not to retaliate or prove them wrong, but to simply live your truth and let the results speak for themselves. The reality is that most people are too afraid to confront the truth, especially when it's presented by someone they perceive as a threat to their own beliefs or way of life. But as they stand face to face with their own shortcomings, they will see the truth they've been running from for so long. And when that moment comes, you will still be there, steady and unwavering, having already faced your own struggles and emerged stronger. It's painful to watch people suffer the consequences of their pride and arrogance. You tried to warn them, to help them avoid the pain they're now experiencing, but their resistance kept them from listening. Now, as they stumble and fall, they are left with nothing but their own regret. And yet, in that moment of regret, there is still hope. the hope that they will learn, that they will grow, and that they will embrace the truth they've avoided for so long. The path to growth is not easy. It requires facing uncomfortable truths, embracing change, and letting go of the illusions that hold us back. It requires standing firm in the face of adversity and trusting that in time, the truth will always come to light. And so, as you continue on your journey, know that you are not alone. Your truth is powerful, and it will continue to guide you no matter what others may say or think. You don't need their approval, their understanding, or their validation. You have everything you need within you. Your strength, your wisdom, and your clarity are all that you need to continue on your path. Your journey is one of resilience, one that doesn't need to be defined by the approval of others. The world may not always understand you, but that's okay. The most important thing is that you understand yourself, and as long as you continue to walk in the truth, you will find your way, no matter how many obstacles you face. So, as you listen to this message, I encourage you to reflect on the truth that you carry within you. What are the lessons you've learned along the way? What has the journey taught you about yourself? And most importantly, how will you continue to walk in your truth no matter what others may say or think? I want to hear from you. If this message resonates with you, comment below with weakness and let me know how this truth has touched you. Don't forget to subscribe to the Wisdom Ones channel to continue this journey with us. Your support through Super Thanks means a lot to the Wisdom Ones channel. Thank you so much for your generosity, and a special shout out to everyone who's already donated. It's because of your kindness that this message can reach those who need it the most. Remember, you are not alone in this. The truth you carry is powerful, and it will continue to guide you on your path. Keep walking in your truth and know that the journey is worth it. No matter how difficult it may seem at times, keep moving forward with faith, with strength, and with the knowledge that the truth will always prevail. There is an undeniable power in the clarity you've always carried, even when the world didn't see it. The years of being misunderstood, disregarded, and overlooked have left their marks, but they have also shaped you into someone who stands unshaken in the midst of uncertainty. Your journey, though filled with hardship, has made you who you are today. Someone who can see the world for what it is, even when others are still blinded by their illusions. You have seen things that others couldn't, and you felt their weight long before they did. And now, as they begin to awaken to the truth you've known all along, you must stand strong, for this is the moment you've been preparing for. As the fog of illusion lifts, the world will look different to those around you. For the first time, they are forced to face the reality they once ignored, and the truth you carried has become an undeniable force, shaping the very foundation of their understanding. The grief they now feel is not just about what they missed, but about the years they spent in ignorance, dismissing your words as something inconsequential. How many times did they mock you for seeing what they refused to? How many times did they call you crazy, too serious, or even broken? But now, as they struggle with the aftermath of their choices, they are realizing the cost of ignoring the truth. You may feel a sense of sadness for them, but you also know that this journey was yours to walk alone. They will never understand the loneliness of knowing, the weight of carrying the truth when it made you an outcast, and the exhaustion that comes with standing firm while the world collapses around you. You have faced this moment long before they even realized it was coming, and the toll it has taken on your spirit is something only you can truly comprehend. There is a quiet strength in this knowledge, a strength that comes not from seeking validation, but from knowing that the truth you hold is unshakable. It has shaped you, refined you, and made you resilient in ways others will never understand. You've already mourned the losses they are only beginning to process. You've already grieved what could have been, and the burden of carrying that truth has transformed you into someone who can stand firm even in the most uncertain times. You may be exhausted, but you are unbroken. Do you remember the moments when you felt like the weight of the world was on your shoulders? When it seemed like no one saw what you saw and you were alone in your clarity? Those moments, though painful, are what have made you who you are. You've walked this path of truth and resilience long before they even knew it existed. Now, as they come to terms with a reality that you've always known, you stand as a witness to the power of unwavering conviction. As they scramble to rebuild their understanding of the world, you remain steadfast. The truth, though heavy, has made you stronger. It has shaped your path, guiding you through the darkest of times and bringing you to a place where you no longer need the approval of others to know your worth. Your purpose was never about proving anyone wrong. It was about standing firm in the knowledge of who you are and what you carry. You have a purpose that no one can take from you, and it is unfolding exactly as it was meant to. You may be tempted to look back and wonder why it had to be this way. Why did you have to bear the weight of truth while others lived in ignorance? Why did you have to endure the ridicule and rejection that followed your every step? The truth is, you were chosen for this path because you have the strength to carry it. Others may never understand the price of clarity, but that doesn't diminish its value. What you've endured has prepared you for the mission ahead, and it is a mission that will change the world. Now is the time to rise into your full potential. The world may not fully understand the depth of your wisdom, but that should never stop you from embracing it. Just like David standing before Goliath, you don't need the approval of others to know your worth. You don't need their understanding to move forward. You are called to rise above the fear of being misunderstood, to speak your truth, and to act with courage, regardless of how the world perceives you. The truth you carry is powerful, it is transformative, and it will change the lives of those who are willing to hear it. But it is also a burden that only a few are equipped to bear. You have been chosen to carry it, not because it is easy, but because you have the strength to handle it. And as you move forward, remember that you are not alone. You are part of a greater plan, and your purpose is unfolding in ways you cannot yet fully comprehend. As you continue this journey, you may face moments of doubt. There will be times when the weight of the truth seems unbearable, and when you question whether it's worth it. But in those moments, remember that you have already come so far. You have already faced the worst of it, and you have stood strong in the face of opposition. You have carried the truth when no one else could, and you have weathered the storms that others have failed to see. Now, as they begin to see what you have always known, you will be the one who stands steady. You will be the one who leads with clarity, wisdom, and strength. Your journey is not over. It is only just beginning. You have come through the fire, and now it is time to rise, to speak, and to act with the courage that has always been inside you. Are you ready to rise into the fullness of who you are? Are you prepared to take that step, knowing that the world may not fully understand your clarity, but that it doesn't matter? Your purpose is greater than their understanding. You are called to stand firm, to speak the truth, and to walk in the light that has always been with you. You are chosen. Your truth will not be silenced, and your strength will not waver. The world may not yet understand, but that is not your concern. Your mission is clear, and you are ready to face whatever comes next. So, take that step. Rise into your power. The truth is waiting, and you are the one called to carry it. And remember, as always, to comment weakness below and subscribe to Wisdom Ones. Your support through Super Thanks means a lot to the Wisdom Ones channel. Thank you so much for your generosity, and a special shout out to everyone who's already donated. It's because of your kindness that this message can reach those who need it the most. Keep shining. In the midst of all that we face, the trials, the rejection, the harsh realities that confront us, we must always remember one thing. Truth is both a burden and we stand on the edge of revelation, often alone, carrying knowledge that others cannot yet see, and it is this very knowledge that will shape the future. But to walk this path, we must recognize that the truth is not just an idea to be understood. It is a force, a power that requires us to act, to endure, and to transform in ways that others cannot comprehend. We, the chosen ones, have been through a journey that few can truly grasp. You've seen what others refuse to acknowledge, and you've stood firm in the face of doubt, loneliness, and even ridicule. You knew the cost of truth long before others realized the price they would eventually have to pay. But what they don't understand is that in this very moment, as the veil of illusion is being lifted, you are the ones who will lead, guide, and shape the future of the world around you. The world may not have embraced you for your vision or your insights, but it will now come to understand the wisdom you carry. When you have carried the burden of truth for so long, it transforms you. It reshapes you into something stronger, something unbreakable. And in this transformation, you find peace. Not in the acceptance of others, but in the certainty that you were true to yourself, true to your calling, and true to your God-given purpose. It's often said that wisdom comes with a price, and that price can feel overwhelming at times. But in the same breath, wisdom offers you a freedom that cannot be found anywhere else. You are no longer bound by the illusions that keep others trapped in cycles of ignorance and fear. You are free to walk the path of clarity, even when that path is lonely, and even when it seems like the world is moving in the opposite direction. As you carry this weight, you may feel the strain, but it is not a burden that will break you. Instead, it is one that will refine you. You are being prepared for something greater than you can yet see, and this preparation is not for the faint of heart. It is for those who have the courage to face the truth, no matter how uncomfortable, no matter how much it costs. And this courage, this strength, is what will lead you to your true destiny. Consider for a moment the life of those who have gone before you. The great prophets, the leaders, the ones who dared to speak the truth when it was unpopular, when it was dangerous, and when it cost them everything. These are the ones who have changed the world. They were not chosen because they were perfect, but because they had the strength to bear the weight of truth without compromise. They knew that their purpose was greater than the momentary approval of the world, and that knowledge carried them through the hardest trials. And so it is with you. You are being called not just to know the truth, but to live it, to embody it, and to be a witness to the transformation it can bring. The world is changing, and the truth is at the center of that change. It may take time, and it may take patience. But what is coming is a shift that will bring new understanding, new clarity, and new possibilities. But this journey is not about waiting for others to catch up. It is about stepping forward in faith, knowing that your path, though difficult, is leading you to a place of greatness. The rejection, the loneliness, the isolation, it is all part of the process. It is all part of the refining of your character. And when the world finally sees the truth you have been carrying, they will marvel at the strength and resilience you have shown. It is important, however, to remember that this journey is not about the approval of others. It is about the deep, unshakable conviction that you are on the right path. You don't need to prove anything to anyone. Your worth is not defined by how others perceive you, but by the truth you hold within yourself, and that truth, when fully realized, will be your strength. Now, as you stand on the precipice of this new reality, ask yourself, what are you willing to sacrifice for the truth? Are you ready to face the discomfort, the challenges, and the resistance that will inevitably come your way? The world may resist, it may reject, but it cannot stop the power of truth. In the end, truth has a way of breaking through all the barriers we put in its way, and when it does, it will reveal a new world. One that is more aligned with your higher purpose, your divine calling, and the destiny that has been unfolding before you all along. In this moment, as you reflect on your journey, remember that you are not alone. The same strength that carried those who walked the path of truth before you is the same strength that will carry you. You are part of a long line of individuals who have stood firm, faced rejection, and ultimately changed the world. And now it is your turn. Your journey is just beginning, and the road ahead will be filled with both challenges and triumphs. But the most important thing to remember is that you are never alone. You are guided by a force greater than yourself, and you are walking in the footsteps of those who have gone before you, blazing the trail for those who will come after you. As you step forward, know this: the truth is your ally. It will give you the strength to endure, the courage to speak, and the wisdom to lead. And even though the world may not yet understand, you can stand firm in the knowledge that you are walking in your purpose, and that is enough. You don't need to prove anything to anyone. You are enough just as you are, and the truth that resides within you is all that is needed to carry you forward. If you feel the weight of this message, if it resonates with you, and if you are ready to embrace the truth, to stand firm, and to walk boldly in your purpose, then I encourage you to take action. Comment weakness in the video below as a testament to your commitment to standing strong even in the face of vulnerability. And don't forget to subscribe to the Wisdom Ones channel to continue receiving these powerful messages. Your support through super thanks means a lot to the Wisdom Ones channel. Thank you so much for your generosity, and a special shout out to everyone who's already donated. It's because of your kindness that this message can reach those who need it the most. Your contributions allow us to keep spreading these important messages of truth, clarity, and strength. Together, we can continue to rise, united by the unshakable power of truth. Thank you, and may your journey ahead be filled with peace, strength, and unwavering faith.